I'm back for the second year in a row. Last year, spur of the moment, I read a spooky middle grade book, Small Spaces by Katherine Arden, who wrote one of my favorite young adult series of all time. I always call it the Bear and the Nightingale trilogy, but I think it's actually called the Winter Night trilogy. I don't really read spooky books, so I thought middle grade would be the right amount of spooky. I built a fort in my room. I read in the dark. I played a spooky ambiance video. Yeah, it was a good time, a really hot time, but also like I terrified myself. Which is funny because I felt like I had built up a tolerance to stuff like that, watching horror movies with my brother. Horror movies which are way scarier, but there was something about reading it in the dark with like the spooky noises going on. Oh my gosh. This year I didn't build a fort because the middle of my room is currently non-existent. My bedroom's in a transitional phase, trying to figure out who she wants to be in life. So, yeah, we're settling for my bed. I have Gordon the pumpkin for ultimate spooky vibes. I have my popcorn. My mom got me this new flavor of kombucha to try, Pink Lady Apple. I had a little bit of it earlier, and now I have the rest of it in this fall mug. So good. And I've already checked out the sequel to Small Spaces from the library. It seems like a really long time, 1 year, like the space between these videos, but I've made this a Halloween in July Summerween kind of thing, which by the way, the Summerween readathon is happening right now, and I'm not officially participating, but I feel like it would be funny at the end of this to see if I checked off any of the prompts, because there's 2 days left, today and tomorrow, and I would like to finish this book very quickly. Anyways, I've made this a Summerween thing, so that's why I have spaced them out like this. There's 2 more books in the series, okay? So the 4th and final book just came out this year, or actually, I think it's coming out next month. I would be done with this series in July of 2024. Now, does anyone care enough about this series to write it out with me until 2024? Probably not. But am I gonna do it anyway? Probably. I'd also like to point out that the 4th book has clowns on it. I'm really glad I'm not reading that until 2024. I hate clowns. Let me tell you what this book is about. So, as I said, this is the sequel to Small Spaces by Katherine Arden. Dead Voices. The first book took place during autumn. This book actually takes place during winter, or at least the cover has snow on it. So, maybe I should have read this in winter, but it's still going to be spooky. Having survived sinister scarecrows and the malevolent smiling man in Small Spaces, newly minted best friends Ollie, Coco, and Brian are ready to spend a relaxing winter break skiing together with their parents at Mount Hemlock Resort. But when a snowstorm sets in, causing the power to flicker out and the cold to creep closer and closer, the 3 are forced to settle for hot chocolate and board games by the fire. My kind of vibes. Ollie, Coco, and Brian are determined to make the best of being snowed in, but odd things keep happening. Coco is convinced she has seen a ghost, and Ollie is having nightmares about frostbitten girls pleading for help. Then Mr. Voland, a mysterious ghost hunter, arrives in the midst of the storm to investigate the hauntings at Hemlock Lodge. Ollie, Coco, and Brian want to trust him, but Ollie's watch, which once saved them from the smiling man, has a new cautionary message. Beware. With Mr. Volan's help, Ollie, Coco, and Brian reach out to the dead voices at Mount Hemlock. Maybe the ghosts need their help. Or maybe not all ghosts can or should be trusted. All that sounds fantastic and terrifying. Okay. Popcorn for courage. Cheers. Okay. Godspeed. Let's dive in. It was a school and an orphanage. Apparently, it wasn't all sunshine and roses. Rumors went around that children were being locked in closets and things. No one investigated at the time, though. People didn't really care about orphans. And after the orphanage was closed, people started seeing strange lights in the windows. Once the police were called because someone heard screaming inside the building, but they never found anyone. Stories about this place started to go up and down the valley. The most common was the story of a little girl named Gretel and a woman called Mother Hemlock. Ever heard the story? I'm sitting here in the dark reading, and there was this loud bang right outside my window. Oh my god, I swear. I swear I lost my heart. It feels like it jumped out of my body. I think I'm really close to the halfway point, and then I'm gonna stop and watch something cozy or funny to calm me down, because I'm actually falling asleep and I'm really tired, but I know I have to watch something before I go to bed. There's no way I could sleep right now. I mean, I'm falling asleep, but I know that the minute I actually let myself fall into a deep sleep, I'm gonna have nightmares. Like, no doubt about it. Oh my god. This is truly a snowed-in ghost story. And it is freaking me out. The ski lodge they're at is brand new. They don't learn this information until they're already there and trapped because of the snow. That land used to belong to an orphanage, which gained a bad reputation. There were rumors that the kids were mistreated. The biggest rumor being this little girl who was very mischievous. One night, one of the teachers, who was known for being very strict, caught her walking the hallways of the orphanage when she was supposed to be asleep. And as a punishment, she locked her in a closet, which is never, ever an appropriate punishment. You don't do that to anybody. When she went back to fetch her, that poor little girl had been screaming and screaming, and no one had let her out, and she had died in the closet of fright. And then they say that the teacher took her own life by jumping out of the attic window because she felt so bad about what she had done. Now, all of this is just rumors. No one knows if it's actually true, but it's believed that this place is haunted, and the two main ghosts are the teacher and the little girl. Now that they're there, they've been seeing the little girl and the teacher. But what's so creepy is that before they even knew the story, Ollie and Coco were dreaming about the little girl and the teacher. They didn't even know they existed, but they were already having dreams, and then they found out the story. So unbelievably creepy. Oh my gosh. There's also another story that's more recent. Before the ski lodge was built by the Wilsons, kids would sneak up to the mountain to ski down, right? It wasn't an official ski slope, but they would trespass on the land and ski down, which is really dangerous to do when it's not been prepared. There's no supervision. And this one kid, I think he was 17 years old, went up there to ski and was never seen or heard from again. They just know that he was in his ski gear. The most recognizable thing being his blue ski jacket. On their way up to the ski lodge, Coco swore she saw someone standing in the middle of the road in a blue ski jacket. But no one believed her until they started reading up on this area and hearing all these stories. We've got the boy in his blue ski jacket, the creepy teacher in her long black dress, and then we've got the little girl who has the appearance of someone who died of frostbite, okay? Like, she doesn't have eyes. Or at least it says, like, her eyes are, I guess, like black holes, and they're rimmed in frost, and then her fingertips are black. And she's wearing a white nightgown. Like, guys, I actually saw a review on Goodreads that said this book was not scary at all. I'm sitting here in the dark, listening to a Blizzard ambiance video, reading this snowed-in ghost story. I'm freaking terrified. Like, I can 100% guarantee I will have nightmares tonight. Like, every noise in this freaking house, like, is, oh my gosh. As you can tell, I'm rambling, because I really, I don't want to go back to the book. I'm not having a bad time, but also I'm having a terrible time. It's just so hard. Like, I don't think this is my thing. I actually get really excited about Halloween now, and binging Halloween movies with my brother. But for some reason, like, maybe it's because I'm with my brother, and the movie goes really fast, right? And I can, like, cuddle up with a blanket. Well, I'm doing that right now. But I think the point is that the movie goes really fast, and I'm with somebody. But I'm reading this scary book alone, and I know I've set it up to be scary, okay? I know. But I think it's because scary books take longer than a movie. Scary movies are rarely more than 2 hours long, right? But I'm already looking at 2.5 to 3 hours of reading the first half of this book. That's just way longer than any scary movie. So I just think that's why scary books will never be my thing. I'm doing this for a fun YouTube series, but I just know this is not the genre for me. It's not for me. Which is weird because mysteries and murder are my vibe. What does that say about me? Okay, so I was slightly exaggerating when I said I'd been reading for close to 3 hours. 2 hours and 20 minutes later, I am just over the halfway point. How unprofessional. I should have kept it open so I could tell you exactly where I am, but I wanted to close the book immediately because, oh my gosh, I didn't know there was going to be a Ouija board. I don't mess around with Ouija boards. Okay, I'm on chapter 11, ebook, page 119, and it's saying I am 54% of the way through. I actually really wanted to keep reading, which, okay, here's the thing. It's like this weird thing. It's like, I don't want to keep reading because it's terrifying. Like, I don't want the book anywhere near me. But also, I want to keep reading because I want to know what happens. Like, it's this weird tug of war. I don't know. I don't understand what's going on. The Ouija board was too much. Oh my gosh. So creepy. Since this is a Halloween in July vlog and we're trying to up the fall vibes in the middle of summer, like, it's freaking hot, okay? I'm trying to think of something that would calm me down before bed, but also put me in an autumn mood. Even if it's not scary, I don't want anything to do with witches. I don't even think I'd want to watch Scooby-Doo at this point. So I'm thinking Gilmore Girls, which is, like, not my favorite show in the world. I hate Rory with a passion, but I do like the coziness. I gotta chillax. I gotta calm down. Like, oh, guys, for 2 hours and 20 minutes, I was going through it. I don't know what that person on Goodreads was talking about. They must have a higher tolerance than me, because reading that book in the dark. Okay, I'm gonna watch Gilmore Girls and try and calm down. Wish me luck.
Please, Luke. Please, please, please.
How many cups have you had this morning?
None.
Plus?
5, but yours is better.
You have a problem.
Yes, I do.
Junkie.
Angel, you've got wings, baby.
It is the next evening, almost 10 o'clock. Have my iPad ready to go. I'm going to turn on my ambiance video, turn off the lamp, and settle in for reading. Oh, I forgot my snack. Hold on. Normally, I wouldn't be eating candy, but this is a special occasion, a special Halloween in July vlog. So I'm gonna eat some of these leftover Stranger Things Sour Patch Kids. I bought them for my brother and I when we watched Stranger Things Season 4 Part 2. I actually don't really like them. They're more bitter than sour, so it's not a very pleasant eating experience, but I bought a whole box of them on Amazon, so my brother and I are slowly making our way through them. I just took 3 of each color. That's enough for me. And I put it in my Luke's Diner mug, because how cute is that? I'm also hoping that the Gilmore Girls vibes help me through the rest of this book. Alright, I'm ready. Let's do it. That one actually wasn't that bad. I think out of all the colors, red, orange, yellow, green, blue, orange is definitely my favorite, and I think it's my brother's favorite as well. It's not as bitter as the other colors for whatever reason. It's actually very pleasant. Anyways, goodbye. It is now 11:30. I finished the book, I don't know, like 10 or 15 minutes ago. It took me only an hour and a half to read it. And the reason I know that is because the ambiance video I was using was only 40 minutes long. So I just calculated how many times it replayed while I was reading. The second half was actually very disappointing. I wasn't scared once. It was just kind of meh, which sounds weird because, like, I'm not reading this for enjoyment. I mean, I am, but, like, being scared isn't my favorite thing in the world. But it was so weird because I was so terrified last night during that first half, and then wasn't scared once tonight. And I was in the dark with all the spooky sounds coming from that video. The only time I got scared is when my mom shut her bedroom door. The room's right there. Yeah, that scared the crap out of me. But I ended up giving the book 4 stars on Goodreads. The second half wasn't bad. It just was not as scary as the first half. And I don't know. It just didn't read as well as sort of a horror adventure kind of book. But I still think as a whole it deserved 4 stars. I'm very interested for the second book. So I did check, and they are going in season order. So book 1 was fall, book 2 was winter, book 3 is spring. Someone I follow, Meg from Booktube, she and I think Gavin as well, gave the first books 4 stars. And then I noticed that Meg gave book 3 3 stars. And it has a lower average rating. I think both the first and the second book are over 4 stars on average. The second book is at a 3 point something. So I thought that was interesting. I guess we'll see. But anyways, yeah, I still gave it 4 stars. I guess if we're getting technical, maybe a 3.5. But you can't do half stars on Goodreads anyways, so just round it up to a 4. Summerween, the readathon I'm not participating in, but also participating in. Today's the final day, and I finished my 1 book before midnight. So let's see if I accomplished any prompts. The first one is read a book in the dark. And I read that entire book in the dark. Not once did I have a light on. So, check. Read a book with Halloween colors on the cover. I'm assuming they mean things like orange and black. Like a pumpkin. Dang. The book cover is blue. That is not really Halloween-y. Yeah, you would definitely equate it more. Yeah, you're not going to be able to see that, are you? It's very wintry. It's more of a chiller than a Halloween thriller. So, I don't think I get that point. Read a slasher. Definitely not a slasher. Read a book with haunt in the title. No. Bake or make a treat with your spooky read. Well, I did make popcorn yesterday, so I'm gonna say that counts. So, 2 out of 5. Not bad, considering I didn't look at these beforehand, and I was just gonna see if the book happened to match up with anything. I would like to tell you some warnings / trigger warnings for this book. Taxidermy. There are stuffed animals all over the ski lodge. Raccoons, bears, deer, coyotes, you name it. The character Ollie lost her mother. It didn't happen in the first book, it happened before the first book, but it is mentioned quite a bit that she's still dealing with it because I believe she only lost her 1 year before the first book. It was not that long ago. She's 11 years old. She just remembers it being very traumatic when her dad woke her up and told her, "Your mother's plane fell out of the sky," and no one survived. So, yeah, just be aware. Loss of a parent and talk of her dying in a plane crash. Ghosts. This book is a winter ghost story. It talks about the little girl dying. She was locked in a closet as a punishment by a really mean teacher at the orphanage where she lived, and she died of fright, and her ghost has just black holes where her eyes should be, and there's frostbite around her eyes. The tips of her fingers are black from frostbite. The teacher who locked her in the closet jumped out of the attic window and took her own life because she regretted what she had done and blamed herself for the little girl's death. That teacher is also a ghost. I think they say her eyes are similar. I can't really remember, but just assume that she has a very creepy look. She still has on a long black dress, black fingertips from frostbite, and her fingernails are like black and long. It's gross. It's so gross. And then there's another ghost. There's not really much description of him, but I think he also exhibits the look of frostbite. The only thing is that he's wearing a ski mask, so they can't really see his face as much as the teacher and the little girl. So yeah, creepy ghost imagery for sure. There's also a Ouija board. It's used to contact the dead once. The other time it's being used as a means of communication. It's not being used to contact the dead. I think those are the major things to know about this book. And having said that, I'm actually feeling great. I didn't get scared. Last year, I watched Scooby-Doo after I finished the first book, Small Spaces. I wanted to continue that tradition, but I've already started Gilmore Girls. And I'm really feeling those cozy Stars Hollow vibes. How many times have I said vibes in this video? Oh my gosh. I think I'm actually going to take a bath. I literally have one final bath bomb left, and I think I'm going to use it. It's navy blue, so it kind of fits the Halloween vibes. We'll make it fit. No, actually, fall fashion, jewel tones. Navy blue is a jewel tone. Ah, we'll go with it. I'm going to use the bath bomb. I'm going to watch Gilmore Girls, and Gordon and I are going to say goodnight to you. If you enjoyed this spooky Halloween in July reading vlog, please give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to hit that red button down below to subscribe and become a member of my YouTube family. Also, click the bell to turn on your notifications. Click the link down below to become a patron and support future content. There are 10 tiers to choose from, something for every budget. My comment section is always open for a chat and video suggestions from you. I will see you in my next video. Bye!
Look at them, all relatively intelligent men, but there they are, dressed up in costumes. Standing out in the snowstorm, and for what?
Because it's tradition.
Tradition is a trap. It allows people to stick their head in the sand. Everything in the past was so quaint, so charming. Times were simpler. Kids didn't have sex. Neighbors knew each other. It's a freaking fairy tale. Things sucked then, too. It just sucked without indoor plumbing.
I think some traditions are nice. Birthdays, holidays, taking a walk in the first snow of the season.
I didn't get the Hallmark card for that one.
When I was 5, I had a really bad ear infection, and I had been home in bed for a week, and I was very sad. So I wished really hard that something wonderful would happen to me, and I woke up the next morning, and it had snowed. And I was sure that some fairy godmother had done it just for me. It was my little present.
Parents never explained the concept of weather to you?
I'm making a point, Mouthy McGee. Of course, many years later, I realized that logically the snow was not there for me personally, but still, when it snows, something inside me says, hey, that's your present. I don't think it'll ever change.